I don't want to be cliche, but it's true. You never really know what life is going to bring you. My story starts with this. I walked into my junior year of high school, content and ecstatic about what the year was going to bring me. I had a boyfriend that I loved, 4 friends I went everywhere with, and a passion to make that year my best. What more could I possibly need, I thought. Little did I know that the second I walked into my 3rd period class, I was going to meet the girl who changed my life in a way that I never could have imagined. And her name was Ashlyn. Now, that's a lot to put on a best friend, but that's what best friends are for. Best friends laugh at all the crazy things that we do. They give us honest advice even though we don't want it. They're there for us even though they're thousands of miles away. And most important of all, they celebrate us when we're at our best and love us when we're at our worst. Everyone should learn a lesson from Ashlyn. She's the type of best friend that we should all look for, and the type of best friend that we should all aspire to be. I've known Ashlyn for 6 years now, and in those 6 years, I've skipped school to bring her KFC in the hospital, let her bleach my hair even though neither one of us knows what we're doing, and been through more relationships than I can count. But one thing that I can count on is her. Through and through, I know that I'll always be there for her, and she'll always be there for me. To say I wouldn't know what I would do without her is an understatement. To me, she plays many roles. The mother figure I think I don't need, the sister I never had but always wanted, and the best friend that I knew I needed. It's a bit strange to categorize Ashlyn as my best friend, but also as a mother figure, but that's one of the roles she plays in my life. As I talked to my own mother, Jody, about my best friend, she couldn't be more thankful that I have her. I know you've had a few best friends throughout your life, but I'm glad you decided on Ashlyn. I'm thankful that you have her, she explained. She went on to say, it's important to have a best friend that can be there through the worst. At the end of high school, you were sad, you were angry, and you were withdrawing from everyone. When you started hanging out with her, she brought back the daughter that was happy, laughed at everything, and actually wanted to try. As a mother, that's what you want in your daughter's best friend. Ashlyn checked on me on a daily basis to make sure I was eating and drinking. She was up at all hours of the night with me, talking with me and helping me through my issues. Where I felt I couldn't talk to my own mom about some of these things, Ashlyn filled that void. She stepped up to the plate. She helped me through my problems and helped me become secure with myself, like mothers do. A while later, I found myself in another one of my many relationships, but this time it was different. I found a man who I considered to be my soulmate. Now the only thing I had to do was tell Ashlyn. Initially, she was skeptical and uneasy about him, seeing that I had told her nothing about him and no one would ever be good enough for me in her eyes. But eventually, I introduced the two, and she loved him just as much as I did. I felt like a daughter seeking approval from our mother, but that's what Ashlyn is to me. Her approval means the world to me. And even a year and a half later, she still checks in on him and makes sure he's treating me the way I deserve to be treated. And she isn't afraid to let him know that she's watching him in a loving way. But even though she can be as strict as a mother, that doesn't stop her from taking on the role as the sister that I never had, but always wanted. Growing up, I had 2 older brothers, so I didn't have somebody to talk to about makeup or steal clothes from, or talk to about my teenage dramatics. It was something I always felt I missed out on growing up, and something that I always wanted. But I learned quickly that having Ashlyn as a best friend is almost exactly like having a big sister. One of my favorite hobbies is to do makeup, but that didn't start until after high school and after I met Ashlyn. She always had the most perfect eyeliner and beautiful complexion, and just like a little sister, I wanted to copy her and be just like her. Often we go on adventures together, even though they may upset either of our parents. Whether it's staying out until 4 a.m. with our friends or rescuing animals that are in need of loving homes. You need a sister to do stuff behind your parents' back, even though you know you're going to get in trouble later. I remember the summer after high school, Ashlyn asked me to go with her and pick up a cat that she was going to adopt from a friend. We stopped to get lunch, then drove 45 minutes one way to go and save the little guy. When we got there, we both fell in love, and I didn't know if she was going to take the cat home or me. It was only on the way back where we realized that she completely forgot that her parents didn't know about the cat. We pulled up to the house completely clueless, but just walked in anyway, as teenagers without a plan do. Of course, her parents went crazy, telling her that they couldn't have another cat, until we explained that we found the cat while walking along the side of the road. A complete and total lie, but since he didn't have a collar, her parents believed us, and she was able to keep the cat. It may have been a lie, but it was for a good cause. While Ashlyn has an actual sister, she knew she could never talk her into doing something like that. But if there's one person who could possibly know Ashlyn better than me, it would be her actual sister, Courtney. Sometimes I think that you're her sister rather than me, Courtney explained when I talked to her. Of course, I couldn't help but inquire what this meant, so she explained. Whenever I ask her who she's texting, who she's going out with, who's coming over, it's always you. Once I saw a picture of you two on Facebook together, and you were wearing her shirt. I asked her if that was hers, and she said, "We're sisters, we share closets." While some people might get jealous of their sister being that close with another person, I couldn't be happier. Even when you're sisters, you still need someone to talk with and be close with when the other one's not there. If I had to share my sister with anyone else, I'm glad it's you. You guys complement each other so well. You're part of her family, even if it's not by blood. Courtney summed it up with that statement. While I wasn't gifted with a sister through my parents, I found a sister in my best friend. And personally, I think that's a little bit better. One of my favorite things about Ashlyn is that I can also have another best friend. Her name is Jamie. I've known her since I was in preschool, and we've been friends ever since. She moved away for college, and to see her go was one of the hardest things, but she knew I'd be okay. I needed you to have someone like Ashlyn for a few reasons, she explained to me. First, I was going to go away to college, and I needed someone to be here for you. Second, I needed someone to push you out of your comfort zone and do things that you wouldn't normally do. And third, I needed someone to be able to give you the advice that I could never give. And Ashlyn was the perfect fit. She'd be here while I was away, take you to parties and concerts of bands that you actually liked, and could give you advice in areas that I had no expertise in. And throughout all that, she not only became one of your best friends, but also one of mine. Ashlyn encouraged me to take the leap and go back to school. Even though I was scared out of my mind, she knew I could do it. She introduced me to new music, new people, and new experiences that I never thought I'd take part in. When I was 18, I went through a phase where I wanted to get everything pierced and tattooed. The day I turned 18, I was out getting my first tattoo. A few months later, I got my next, and a few short months after that, I got my next. One thing I really wanted to do was get my belly button pierced. I didn't act on this right away, but it was always in the back of my mind. One night when Ashlyn and I were out at the mall, I decided right there and then that I wanted to get my belly button pierced. Well, you can't do that at the mall. And it was almost 7 o'clock at night, so I called every tattoo shop around, and they were almost all closed. I finally found one that said that they could do it if I got there within the hour. So I grabbed Ashlyn and rushed to a tattoo shop in the middle of Milwaukee. While she tried to talk me out of it, there was no luck in changing my mind. I was there, I was in the chair, I had the dot on my stomach, and I was going through with it. Where Ashlyn didn't think it was the best idea, she gave in, held my hand, and I got it done. She was supportive, like I needed her to be. And afterwards, she even wanted to get hers done. It's one of my favorite memories of us, and one that I'll never forget. Ashlyn did step in and be everything that Jamie knew she could be for me. She was up for anything at any time of the night, whether it was a midnight run to George Webb's for some pancakes, getting something pierced at a sketchy tattoo shop, or just a sleepover. She was there. No matter what the circumstances, she gives me unwavering support. She was and is there through thick and thin, making her not only my best friend, but one of the best people I've ever had the privilege of knowing. Overall, the perfect best friend that I always wanted. In my opinion, Ashlyn was the perfect example of what a best friend should be. I wish I could make copies for everyone because she is the perfect best friend that everyone should have in their life. Overall, she's not only my best friend, but a mother and a sister that I'm thankful for and in desperate need of. There are only 7 billion people on this planet, and I had the privilege of meeting her. That's the greatest present I could ever ask for. Thank you.